Orengofta! A huge, oily Nalfeshni is waiting for you with his arms folded. Here comes the commander, kids. Ha ha ha. So, Commander, do you like what you see? You've arrived just in time to hear your friends screaming for help. They trusted you, and look what happened to them. No, they trusted the Queen. That was their problem. Do you actually think you can rescue them? Well, yeah, even if you kill them, they'll make good skeletons. Either way, they're going to be moving at the end of this, and you won't be. Ha! Who do you think you are? It might be dangerous to listen to this demonic scum, but he asked a fair question. Are you here to save everyone or rule the dead from a throne of bones? What is the path you see before you? Wait, what? Selah, now? Now! In this moment, you're going to instill doubt in our troop. You stupid alcoholic paladin. I hate you. You're going to be a great firebrand someday. Let's try to fish for information before we gut him. Who sent this army here, you beast? We all serve our master Baphomet, Lord of the Labyrinth. He promised us Dresden in your skin as a doormat. Baphomet just got killed by Lady Gothiest girlfriend. I forget her, Necrobes something. Fighters of Dresden, don't give up! Do you really believe they can hear you? All your pathetic attempts to win turn to ashes, don't you see? And this is the great hero everyone is so afraid of? Come on, show us what you've got. What are you waiting for, eh? Can't you hear them screaming? Why aren't you rushing to help them? Oh, right, you can't. You're just a mortal insect that bit off more than you could chew. What the hell is this? Hold on, legend path? I am a mortal and the commander, this is my city. Dragon path, I am a gold dragon. Imagine just randomly being like, I am a dragon! Like, no I'm not. What? My heart is full of compassion, but my spirit is relentless. Is it... No, the whole game I've been trying to become a lich. That's not changing now. Alright, you're just a mortal insect. You're nobody. I am a lord of death. Power rushes through your body, almost ripping it apart. The wound in your chest bursts open in a spray of bloody droplets. The might bestowed upon you by the Abyss and Arilu Vorlesh erupts into this world, and you pay for it in purest agony. The city is steeped in death. The people now dying on its streets are but a drop in the ocean of those who have perished here. Thousands of warriors gave their lives to protect it. Thousands more fell trying to capture it. Dresden stands atop bones, and you hear the soft groans of the dead rising up from the underground. You answer them. You summon the fallen and rally them for a new fight. You promise that their cold, decayed hands will have another chance to squeeze the life out of their hateful foes. That their ghostly hearts will once again be filled with battle rage. You don't care who answers your call, a brave crusader or a frenzied cultist. Death is a great equalizer. It has erased their faces and given you power over their souls. Yo, I got chills right now. There's ghosts backing me up now. There's ghosts coming in. Dude, there's ghouls. There's skeleton champions. Dude, it didn't even show the scene. They're just all dead. Wait a minute. Why are my zombies... Oh, shoot. My undead are killing our own people. Whoops. Achievement unlocked. Demonic and divine. So, yeah, the undead killed the, our people too. That was still a really cool scene, though. Wait, that's Iomade, or is it the Queen? No, Queen doesn't fly. An incredible silence suddenly descends over the city. It is broken by the solemn sound of fanfares that seem to come from far away, everywhere, and nowhere all at once. All eyes are turned to the huge stained glass window of the city's main cathedral, and it begins to glow with a soft light. And in the next breath, a lone figure steps out of the glass onto the cobblestones of Dresden.
Knight Commander, at last we meet.
There's no mistaking her. Iomade, the goddess who has deigned to descend to the world of mortals. Your companions shield their faces, unable to withstand her radiance. The surviving demons quiver, the townsfolk fall to their knees. The deity's eyes are on you, and you alone. Attack. No, I'm not a stupid lich. Professionals have standards. I am not going to try to shiv a god. I will just get deleted. oh wow, look everyone, it's a goddess. I'm gonna be, dude, it's a god. I'm gonna be polite. I greet you, Light of the Sword.
And I greet you, Knight Commander. I suppose you're asking yourself why I am here. Gods must not interfere directly in the affairs of mortals. But what is happening here, in the World Wound, is no longer the concern of mortals alone. And this is proof. This fortress has witnessed so many horrors and miracles. It makes me wonder how it still stands.
For a moment, the goddess diverts her eyes from your face and looks out over Dresden, surveying the chaos caused by the recent battle and the manifestation of your power.
You gain more and more frightening abilities. Death is your loyal servant, and darkness your constant companion.
Oh, you. She says the sweetest things.
The demons are defeated, but what I see is not a victory, but the aftermath of an atrocious crime. Dresden has become a city of the dead, and the heroes who swore an oath to me have fallen, and their remains have been desecrated.
Recycled. Recycled. I have standards.
But I did not come here to reproach you, or to bewail the fate of the unfortunate defenders of Dresden. I wish to stop the forces of evil and defend Golarion, both from Daskari's violent rage and from Nocticula's insidiousness. But that is not my only goal. I have come here to restore justice, for justice is the birthright of all. That's why I hail you as a hero who has triumphed over the demons many times. At the same time, I grieve for you, as for a soul that has succumbed to the influence of the Abyss and been poisoned by its evil.
Number 4 is the closest to how I feel. Maybe I did acquire my powers from a dubious source, but I follow my own path.
You may think so, but alas, this is not true. It can be, however, if you accept my help. In that moment, when my poor herald was being torn apart by monsters, he found the strength to send me a message about what he had learned in the Abyss. You were in Elutionera, where you spoke with the Lady in Shadow and the Architect of the World Wound. They confessed what they had done to you, but they did not reveal the whole truth. Both you and this unfortunate world will have to pay dearly for the power that they so generously bestowed upon you. But all is not yet lost. That is why I have come.
You're not taking away my lichiness, but if I could still be a lich, we'll talk. Whoa! Gothiest girlfriend makes an appearance. Yo, chat, I'm imagining this is like, you know, it's like a Smash thing, you know, like the trailers for like Smash Brothers. Or it's just like, poof, and then she just comes in from the side. Like, Gothiest girlfriend joins the battle. The walls of Dresden shake again, and with a ringing laugh, a black shadow appears before the shining goddess, Nocticula in the flesh. Standing beside her is Arilu Vorlash, who stares at the goddess with ice-cold rage in her eyes. I gotta say, my guy's probably feeling like his ego is up here right now, guys.
Who here has been taking my name in vain? Ah, it's you, the Inheritor. What's this? Our worst fears have come to pass. The gods are flocking to Golarion. This merry little tinderbox could ignite at any moment, reducing the material plane to dust.
The succubus makes Iomede's title sound like an elegant insult. Inheritor.
I did not come here to fight.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you were good for anything else. Forgive me, that was
I'm just sitting there
unfair
like...
of me. Judging by your successes over the last 100 years, fighting is not your forte. After all, the wound is still there, as far as I know. So why are you here? If you have come to meddle in my affairs, don't expect me simply to stand aside.
I really like the I don't know who Caden is, but I like the first part of this. The party's really getting started now. Who will be the next to arrive? Caden, Kalian, perhaps?
The two of us will be more than enough. Listen to what I have to tell you. If she wishes to be present for this conversation, so much the better. Do you hear me, Nocticula? You and your servant are under no obligation to leave. I have come here to shed the light of truth. Let us see if you both can withstand its merciless radiance. I cannot change the flow of mortal history by force. After all, the world wound is their doing, although committed at the behest of the Abyss. But sometimes force is unnecessary, and truthful words are all it takes.
The goddess who was mortal not so long ago is eager to judge us for our sins now. My sin, to be precise. What lies behind your
The rest of the party's
eagerness,
just like,
proud
oh my
Iomedae?
God.
Righteous wrath? Or perhaps fear? Watch out. A simple mortal woman has learned how to grant powers to others. Powers which are beyond the wildest dreams of many Imperial lords. This must be stopped, forbidden, taken away immediately. After all, what need will we have for all these arrogant gods once we become their equals?
Silence. It's impolite to interrupt your elders. But you know, Inheritor, she does have a point. What are you going to do now? Break my weapon, which has made so many victories possible, and only because he received that weapon from my profane hands, and the entire affair must therefore be profane also? What real reasons do you have? Save those born of your envy, your capriciousness, and your suspicions?
Nocticula's cold gaze makes Aurilu press her lips into a thin line.
My reasons are quite real, as you well know. That is why you appeared here in such haste, is it not? You have woven a delicate lace of half-truths, Nocticula. From you and your servant, the Knight Commander has learned that he is bound to the world wound, that he is slowly dying because of its influence, and that he is yet capable of closing it. But you withheld a crucial piece of information. You never told him that closing the wound won't save him from death. For this lock will destroy the key to which it is bound. The one who closes the world wound will die along with it.
Whoosh! Word?
That is true. I tried to tell you back in Illusionera, but I was not allowed to. It is an unavoidable consequence of this process. To stitch two planes together as I have stitched Galarian and the Abyss, the soul of a mortal must be woven with the essence of the Abyss. To undo this seam, the original soul, the key, must be ripped apart. No one could survive such a process.
In other words, I'll die if I don't close the wound, and I'll die if I do close it.
It is true. Now do you see the perils of accepting a demonic gift? No matter how much power the Abyss gives you, that power will always be tainted by lies and misfortune. This is the justice I promised you. The right to know the whole truth, and not to be a plaything in the hands of abyssal spawn.
Nocticula, were you trying to hide this from me?
Trying, you say? I successfully hid the truth from you for as long as I deemed necessary. Are you expecting me to explain myself? My goal is to close the world wound, not to grant you a happily ever after.
Well, now I'm finally starting to understand the rules of this game.
Yes. The power that Nahindrian crystals grant you will bring about nothing but your own demise. The branches of the Tree of Sin are vast and verdant, but its only fruit
I don't
is
think
death.
turning into a lich is going to help me if my soul's going to get
You will
ripped
not
to
be able to
shreds.
save yourself unless you reject everything that has been foisted upon you. Now you know everything.
No, we're not quite finished with the revelations yet. Few secrets remain to be revealed, but they will be worth the wait. Does this look familiar? Do you remember the similar wound above your own heart? I have given you enough hints. Come on, ask me the question I have been waiting for.
With a flick of the witch's wrist, something changes in her, as if a veil has fallen, one so thin it was almost invisible, but which had clouded your vision nonetheless. Now you can see what was hidden before. A deep, open wound oh, it's right there in the picture. Above Arilu's heart. The wound pulsates as blood drips out of it. Does this look familiar? Lore Nature 29. Okay, I cannot fail this. Your wound. Arilu's wound, without a doubt, is of magical origin, and it eerily is similar to the one that nearly killed you back in Kenabris. Knowledge 29. I've got a like 60% chance of this. History tells us a lot of curious things about the World Wound's creation. Fail. Why are you doing all this, Arilu?
Certainly not to curry favor with the demon lords, because frankly, I detest all overlords equally, whether they hail from heaven or the abyss.
How interesting.
Nocticula says slowly, looking between you and Arilu. I don't want to play a guessing game. If you want to say something, Arilu, just say it.
That is unfortunate. I expected more from you.
Well, I didn't have any other options.
Just think about it. I altered you in the moment the world wound expanded for the second time. But it also expanded before, 30 years prior. There is a wound in your chest, but you can find a similar one in mine. You are the key that is capable of closing the wound forever. But are you really so unique? Or could there be another like you?
The Queen?
Perhaps you are not even the first.
My guess is the Queen.
Good question. Just imagine. I have wasted so much time chasing the key to the world wound, and the key was right under my nose this whole time. Arilu, my love, come over here.
No, wait, no, hold on. So Arilu made the World Wound, and then 30 years ago it expanded. I thought that Arilu's wound was from the creation of the World Wound. Are they saying that she made it, and then later she did the ritual to herself, and she made it expand? Both of those rituals were her? That's what, see, Nocticula looks at Arilu with fresh eyes, predatory curiosity written on her face. Arilu does not look like someone who has been cornered. Without a trace of fear, she gives you a faint nod and then makes a barely discernible gesture with her hand and disappears, as if she were never even here.
Wait, I said wait! That little bitch. I knew she would betray me sooner or later, but I never expected such an idiotic stunt.
She smiles at you sweetly.
But everything seems to be falling into place quite nicely. You see, you don't have to die after all. Arilu opened the world wound, and Arilu will be the one who closes it, whether she likes it or not. Although, someone will need to catch her first, and this will require certain powers.
Yes, Arilu Vorlesh will pay for her crimes with her life. Her flight confirms that our suppositions were correct. But now we know that the world wound can be sealed with her blood. You have no
Good use of the word
reasons to remain
suppositions.
indebted to the Abyss and indulge the Queen of the Succubi. reject her gift, and secure your victory while being the person you were before Arilu Vorlesh corrupted you. Win as a mortal, and become a legend among mortals.
I don't really need the demon buff, but I'm really gung ho for the Lich thing.
She's talking rubbish. True, we gave you the power, but it was you who chose how to wield it. It belongs to you, and it will remain yours, so you can do whatever you want with it. But first, you must use it to close the world wound. You aren't going to catch this world's most powerful witch, and a half-demon one at that, with your bare hands, are you?
Both the goddess and the demon lord stare at you expectantly. Before I make my decision, I want to ask Iomade some questions.
Ask, and you shall have your answers.
You gained your own power from the Starstone. How is my power any different?
My ascension was not accomplished in one day, and even the test of the Starstone was only one of its stages. I did not merely gain power. I embraced a sacred duty. Your power, on the other hand, stems not from long hours of study, not from trials. It is not the natural talent you were born with and carefully honed throughout your life. It is the result of an evil soul's deranged experiment with the blood of dead abyssal lords.
You imprisoned entire hosts of angels inside the Wardstones. Why did you do that to them?
Every one of my angels volunteered for that mission. They all knew what kind of watch they were going to keep. They knew that it would be a hard and exhausting battle, but that the lives of mortals throughout Golarion would depend on it. Alas, angels' minds can be as fragile as the minds of mortals. In less than 100 years, many wavered, and wished to break the oath they had sworn. I do not blame them. I blame myself for allowing them to take on a burden that was too heavy for them.
Did you send your herald to follow me to the Abyss, or did he go of his own free will?
He acted on his own noble impulse, and I did not stop him. I also did not try to dispel his misconception about you being my chosen one. I do not lie, but both celestial beings and mortals can be mistaken.
She doesn't lie, sure. She merely withholds some of the truth. For the noblest of reasons, of course.
Yeah, an omission of true, like, a lie of, what is the phrase? A lie of omission is still a lie. Do you know what happened to your herald?
My herald, my loyal companion, was captured, and now demons are using him to attack Dresden. They're holding him in the Ivory
Wait, he's alive?
Baphomet's realm.
I thought
of the
Baphomet
Abyss.
killed him.
It is a place I cannot go, not even to save my faithful friend. For doing so would start an interplanar war. Right now, as we speak, Baphomet's servants are torturing the hand of the Inheritor. Tormented and anguished, he reaches for you with his thoughts and his soul. I cannot tell if he sees you as a great unfulfilled hope or a last chance. But Baphomet knows well how to exploit such desperate yearning. He has turned my herald into a source of power to open temporary portals. They do not last long, but they lead from the dungeon where the hand of the Inheritor suffers, right to your doorstep. Baphomet does not need to lead his armies through the rifts.
I wonder if we can
Now
take
he
his
can
portal
send
back
them
to
right
him
here.
and free him at the source. Or, if we have to, kill him so they stop doing that.
As long as my poor herald remains in the hands of that monster, this will not stop. I cannot say if it is still possible to save him, or if
The game's
putting
like
him out
lagging
of
every
his
couple
misery
seconds. You
is
guys see the like the
only way.
waves from my
I
aura?
cannot openly
It's like
ask you to intervene.
every few frames there's like a spike.
But if you decide to do so, you will be helping both yourself and the one who chose the martyr's path when he followed you into the abyss.
Ever since I acquired these powers, everyone believed me to be Iomede's chosen. Why didn't you do anything to dispel this misunderstanding?
At first, I did not know who you were, or where your powers originated. This was revealed to me only when my herald offered up his dying prayer from the depths of the abyss. And following his desperate plea, I sought to confirm my suspicions. Until that point, I had observed you without intervening. After all, your crusade was securing victories, the first Golarion had seen in many years. So even if it was not I who had sent you into battle, it felt unfair to undermine you.
That's fair. Imagine, like, you know, we're winning for the first time in like 100 years, and then the clouds part, and the goddess comes down and goes, "By the way, he's not my boy," and then she leaves. It's like that could only do harm to the campaign.
In other words, our Imperial guest had no problem with your power, as long as she didn't know where it came from. She didn't even share her suspicions with her own herald. And after all that, someone dares to claim that demons are the most deceitful creatures?
Oh, you're still the most deceitful, but she's far from perfect.
You should not blame someone else if you base your accusations on vague suspicions rather than solid proof. You call my behavior deceitful. You, of all creatures, who kept the commander ignorant of...
I'm just tabbing out and back
You
in.
had chosen for him?
Okay, no effect.
Indeed, the insolence of demons knows no bounds.
Yamade, a demon lord stands before you. Why don't you destroy her right here and now?
I could. But then every other demon lord would decide that he or she was next and stand against me. In response to that, the Imperial lords would take up arms. Then Hell, Heaven, and Elysium would join the conflict. A war would break out. One which mortals could not hope to survive.
You know what I would have loved? If when she says, I could, if Nocticula was like, no, just like, you know, some childish, could not. Why have you decided to descend to the world of mortals at this particular moment?
As I have already said, I am here to open your eyes to Nocticula's lies and to prevent more calamities in the future. You are at a crossroads now. I will not force you to do anything, but you needed to learn the truth and have the chance to cleanse yourself.
Why did Aurilu do everything possible to lead us to the idea that she was a key to?
The impulses that drive a soul as black as hers are beyond my comprehension. Perhaps she was startled by my arrival and decided not to bother keeping a secret that was bound to be revealed. Or perhaps she is up to some cunning scheme. Be on your guard. The architect of the World Wound will surely try to bring you down. For if she truly
I don't think that's her
is a
goal.
key, then
She's
it
been
must
like
mean
molding
that
me
she
this
will
whole
die
time.
sooner or later, due to the influence of her own horrible creation. And that means
It really does
that
not seem like
sacrificing you is her
Aurilu
only
has
chance of survival.
saved me. Like, from the beginning of the game, she cast Featherfall on me when I was falling down that cliff. Like, she's been saving me over and over and over, like, in the background. Okay, and can you help cleanse my soul of the influence of the Abyss?
Aurilu has planted a piece of the Abyss itself in your soul. The only thing that can cleanse the soul of such a taint is that same soul. But I will be near. I will show you how to root out the demonic corruption. I am not a demon, and I do not offer any simple solutions. You will have to go your own way, no matter where it leads.
That's a lot of cryptic mumbo-jumbo. Explain again, how exactly can you help me cleanse myself of the Abyss?
Aurilu has planted a piece of the Abyss itself
Oh, God, she
in
just
your
repeats.
soul.
All right, no more questions.
It is time to make your
Nocticula,
decision,
you're up.
then.
I got questions for you.
If you have questions, ask away.
Why did you try to hide the fact that closing the world wound would kill me?
Because if I'd told you the truth, you would have refused to do it.
True. She gives you a sweet smile.
But you're not angry with me, are you? After all, everything has worked out perfectly fine. We found another key. So now you can live and enjoy your life. Provided that you catch Aurilu, of course.
And where has Aurilu fled to?
No, let's think. She's hidden in the Abyss before. She won't dare to return there now. Not only to my realm, but to any other either. Even if Baphomet and Discari both take it upon themselves to guard Aurilu personally, That won't stop me from sneaking in, slitting her throat, and leaving undetected. And she knows
A
that.
new arrival. Slitting her throat and then the timing.
If I were her, I would hide in a place where the powers of her enemies were uncertain and her own power was close to unlimited. I say you should look for her here, in the World Wound.
And now that we've decided to use Arilu to close the World Wound, do you still want to keep the powers I acquired from her? Or do you still want me to keep the powers I acquired from her?
Of course I do. Firstly, you'll